Thank you, Ken. And thank you, Michael, for your speech. This is speech number 3, only the third, and you're well on your way to becoming an accomplished speaker. I like the fact that when you were up here, your body language was that you had a good presence, and you felt, I sensed that you were in control, and that you knew what you wanted to talk to us about, and you were well on your way, had a good start. I really like the fact that your eye contact was really good. Now you did have, I noticed, an electronic device with you, and you had some notes on the electronic device. And I could tell from where I was sitting that sometimes the screen would go blank, and then you would touch it and to make it come back alive again, and then you would scroll up to see some of the other text that you had written. And I think that writing out your speech is really helpful because sometimes it helps us to visualize, anticipate how you might tell the stories. And storytelling was excellent in your presentation. You had multiple stories, and those are always so engrossing for the audience. It's really engaging. It helps you also to know exactly what you're going to say. You don't need to look at notes once you get into a story. Now, one of the things that was on the checklist in the evaluation was, does your introduction and your conclusion, do they reinforce the body? And I would say that one thing that you might think about trying next time is working on the conclusion a little bit more so that you can actually use that as a way to reinforce the things you covered earlier in your speech so that you can perhaps itemize it. But also, if there's a take-home message, you really have a chance there to emphasize it. I know that in my own case, I oftentimes would focus primarily on the body and not give too much attention to the introduction or the conclusion. But I think that if you have a forceful, kind of a hard-hitting introduction, it kind of gets everybody like, oh, okay, I got to stop looking at my food and start looking at the speaker. And then when you conclude, if you wrap it up and then have that punch again, it really makes it a high impact. And as far as writing out your speech goes, it's always very helpful to do that. But on the other hand, what I like to do is just create an outline after I've written it out. I don't usually write them out anymore, but I used to write them out. And then I converted, transition to outlines. And the beauty of an outline is that it's just a little thing. You can have a small thing. You can have one piece of paper, and then each outline point can just trigger in your mind, oh yeah, that's the thing I want to talk about next. And then you tell your story, and then you go to the next one. And it's really an effective way. But all things considered, you did a great job, and you are well on your way to being an accomplished speaker.